Okay, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are. Welcome back to the L1X AMA. Today we have Achinta Das, who's here, who's been working very hard with the rest of the team, on the direct swap. We've got Neeraj, Dr. Neeraj, of course, and Leono. And I think, in the last few AMAs, we have always, looked at some kind of demonstration and answered the question. And in today's AMA, we are actually going to do the same. So Achinta is going to demonstrate the direct swap live, and we will look at the new fees that will be charged on the swaps. The widget is being updated, so there are a few components in there that still needs update, but we are on track with the launch, and we will be releasing it by the end of this week. So probably without any further delay, Achinta, if you want to get started.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Let's start it. I'll just share my screen first, and then let me know you know, you can see my screen or not. Yes. Is that visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are just going to give you the little bit recap that last AMA Leolin already explained to you guys regarding the direct swap. So here we are explaining you. I mean, those who are newly joined, in this AMA, and we'll give you the idea of what exactly the direct swap is. So direct swap is nothing. It's just swap that not require a wallet connected to the DeFi. For example, normal swap like any Stargate and any other swap, you need to connect your wallet to make the transactions. Here, the best part is you don't need to connect your wallet here to make the transactions. And the good part is, it's the new users, those who are new to the blockchain and Web3 world. So what happened? They only know how to use MetaMask. So our team and they decided to go with a simplified version of it, where user can come and swap their coins. Without further delay, we'll go with the new UI update. I'll just go through the UI update and then we'll make the swap. Okay. So in the right hand side, we have a new price comparison chart, and that is very very helpful because many people are they are making swap, but they don't know what is exactly the price in fluctuated, and maybe they are facing problem in that. So our team decided to we are showing you the price chart. Currently, I'm going to give you the for demonstrations purpose a VAX to BSC in the price comparison chart. You can see the Leonix charging in without wallet is 41 cent and 60 second. If you swap to the with wallet, that also we have in this widget. I'll just here we can see the VAX to BSC. We're going to charge 85 cents. So it's quite drop down in direct swap. Why like that? Because the last AMA Kevin already mentioned that in the direct swap we are cut down some smart contract. Because of that, the price will drop here. And there is so many things while we're doing the transaction. I'll explain one by one. And then we have my asset. Right now my wallet is not connected. By the way, you will see here there's no connections. I'll just copy my wallet from the MetaMask, and you need to paste it here to check your assets. It will take some time because it will retrieve your it is connected to your RPC and get the value from there. So you can see the tokens are and coins are reflected here. That is my portfolio volume. Currently it is a USDT. It's accumulated your all coins volume together. And then we have the transactions. We have the latest transactions. Let me paste again the wallet, and you'll see all the latest transactions you have made. That is very good for the in the UI, where you can see your latest transactions. As well as we have in direct swap, we have these pairs. The beauty of this direct swap is we have supported almost 300 plus pairs. That is very good. Very rarely available in the market you can find. So you can check your all the pairs here, and then we have one more tab here, features, that is called your favorite. Currently it is not here, but when we're publishing it, that should be there. You can make your favorite pairs and you can pin it to there, and whenever you go to the favorite, you can get all your favorite pairs. Okay. So, and the other thing that we already listened to our community, they're saying that we need to have dark side of it, dark theme. So we have dark theme for you guys, and you can check it out as well. So this is a time we are going to swap it out from AVAX to USDT, using AVAX chain USDT to Binance chain USDT. See, there is nowhere my wallet is connected. Here is my MetaMask. I'll show you again. Okay. Now I'll just make 100 USDT swap with the Binance. You can see the price chart here. We have the bridgeless swaps, we have liquidity provider fee, we have destination gas fee, and then we are charging this amount, very minimum, and you'll get this value. Let's do it. Now I have to put my source and destination address. That is very important. Currently, I'm going to put my source and destination address same as well. You can put source something and destination something that you can put, but make sure your source address should be same where you make a transactions on through the MetaMask. Now it will generate a codes for me. It will take some time. Your destination address could be anything, but your source address always same where you make the transaction from the MetaMask. You can see I get the code. So what I have to do is, you see deposit address here, and then I have to make, please send 100 USD from Avalanche to this address. So I have to copy this address, go to the MetaMask. I have to paste this address, and then I have to select USDT. Then I have to make 100, right? Continue. You always check your fees. Confirm. Make sure until it's confirmed, you should not push this button. So until it's confirmed, we'll wait some time. I think it is not reflected. Yes, it's confirmed now in MetaMask. I have to click it here and then process with swap. Now what happened here, you can see the source initiated. Our team is working really hard, and we put a 3-layer protection for your transactions. Whenever source initiated your transactions, the layer 1x blockchain is taking care of your transactions. So somehow, the RPC error should be there, and there may be some other reason RPC is not working. We have a bucket of RPC that take care of your transaction first. And whenever it is RPC pick your transaction and trigger to the xstop node, the xstop node also encapsulated your transactions to wrap it out and send it to the destination chain. But xstop somehow, some xstop sometime many reason maybe fail. We have other xstop node that take care of your transactions. So we call the epoch buys. Our xstop node is working. There's a backup xstop node always standing there to serve your transactions if sometime xstop node is failed by some other reason. So currently it is xstop node picking your transactions, and it should be sent to your destination chain. Yes, it is now in destination chain, and now it is completed. And we can see from the L1X scan, your value here. We'll receive this 99. I'll just zoom it out so you can see everyone. See, we receive this amount in the destinations, this address. Yeah, that's it. It's worked well. And this is the staging version currently we have. We're going to release this version very soon, uh, end of this week, and you guys can test it out. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Achinta. A couple of things, as you demonstrated as well. And if you look at the magnitude of the change that this technology is bringing, we are levitating on Xtalk. We are making use of that. But at the same time, innovating the approval and the submission, where majority of the hacks on new websites, when you connect your wallet, happen because you are
Correct.
approving a contract that you are not even aware of. Meaning, users that don't understand code and don't need to understand code, they approve transactions based on what they are being told on the website. So it's not only bridging the gap between removing bridges and making it more secure, but it's also bridging the gap between not understanding code and still able to use you being able to use Web3 in a secure way. So
Correct.
that's the stance this is taking. I won't be surprised, many other exchanges give it a try. But apart from that, the swap widget is also going to be updated, where various APIs are available with different bridges and different exchanges. So we want to make it as dynamic as possible, meaning in real time, you should get the price difference when you want to perform a swap. So we are not saying that you should 100% go through L1X every time you land up there. If there is a cheaper way and if you think bridges are more secure, we still want to show you that option right there. But this gives us the power where we are not afraid of comparing ourselves on our own website to the other guys real time and showing you how fast and how less the fees can be. So with the aggregator, now one of the question in the AMA that was also asked was with regards to the APIs, right? So if when we build the APIs, what help would it be of? Now, what happens over here is if you look at something like Rango Exchange, which is an aggregator, Rango Exchange works on a model where if you want to go from one network to the other for a specific token, they create various routes. Now, these routes are handled by something called as swappers, swap stream, they call. Now, what will happen over there is the priority in terms of the ranking. We take it as Google ranking, basically. So if you want to rank on first, there are certain parameters like the speed of the transaction, the fees that you have to pay, how centralized or decentralized this particular solution is, and also at the same time, how many transactions were processed using this particular technology. A weightage is given, and then you are ranked on the top. So what we are trying to establish over here is when we give these APIs to the aggregators, we want to first go and find out who is the cheapest one over there in terms of the ranking and modify the fees in such a way that we always rank first with these aggregators. Now, since we have the technology, we are already working on the APIs, we already have the APIs ready. We are putting it up into a certain standard that these exchanges or aggregators require. And by mid next week, we will be submitting these APIs to them. Now, the beauty about this is each and every aggregator will require the similar standard of APIs that we have to provide. So if you think about it, with direct swap, you are removing the approval and the submission process. You are reducing the fees that is being charged over there. And at the same time, technologies such as Rango Exchange or other aggregators will be able to use this straight away from their widget. Now, the other angle, two things are, generating a specific code. Now, when you look at generating a specific code for a specific transaction, I'm still on the aggregator. What happens in this case is there is slippage tolerance that you can add. Now, at this particular stage, direct swap does not provide a slippage tolerance straight away out of the box. But In the next update, we want to also add slippage tolerance to it. This, in a nutshell, provides us with a very comprehensive product that we are actually trying to push. And at the same time, we are not limited by our own marketing. With these aggregators actually using this product, indirectly and directly, they are using L1X infrastructure anyways. So the whole tenet of onboarding applications and using our technology to do transactions comes into play at that particular place when these aggregators and exchanges or websites that want to simply provide a simple swap solution to their users will actually be building on our solution of layer 1x. So this is a route that allows us to onboard multiple different use cases and applications where we are brittling down the focus of Xstock and layer 1x with cross-chain swaps at this stage. Okay, that was good. Neeraj, Leonel, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, about the swaps, as you mentioned, Kevin, like most of the time that I've heard as well, where people, are like, they are hacked because they just sign a wrong contract, right? So in this case, what you have to do is you don't interact with the contract. What you need to do is just, be careful that you are on the right website. So if it's L1X app, that's what you need to know. You just need to copy your address and send it. So your wallet is not connected at all. And there is no chance that you'll be sending it to a wrong address or, giving permissions to a wrong contract. So I think that's a game changer, especially for people who are new to this industry. Yeah.
Yes, Kevin. As Leonard added, definitely it will be a game changer, and the development team has been actually been working rigorously on this. And like once the widget is updated, the community will be able to have a view of the price difference that they will be able to get for the direct swap. So in the previous AMA, the way we had seen, like what would be the benefit to the end user when the person is using the direct swap, they will be able to have more clarity on this when our L1X direct swap goes live. Yes.
Yep, that's right. One interesting question over here by Kikundi Crypto. I'm sorry if I did say that right. So could you just explain the direct swap thing so you do not connect wallet? But what do I put into MetaMask? Are we sending it to my address? Can this be automated? Yeah. So very good question. Two parts to this. The first one is that yes, we are not connecting the wallet, and second one is there is a generated wallet address. Now, what happens in this case is it is a deterministic wallet address for a specific network and token. So if you select Ethereum USDC, for a while it will still be the same. Now, this can be automated, and the way it can be automated is whenever you want to perform a swap, the way these APIs work is you request a quote. Once you request a quote, you get a response based on, okay, this is the address you need to deposit the money. This is the slippage tolerance. This is what you will be expecting out. And based on that response, your transaction is then submitted. So this can be automated in the regular way as you would actually use any swap APIs. The other one is, can the Xtalk API be used by aggregators without corresponding audits? If you talk about the audit of the contracts specifically, the contracts are actually audited by Hashlock. So, and at the same time, what happens over here is these aggregators are actually, when they will be using our APIs, they will be doing certain amount of testing from the API perspective, and they will be asking for the audit reports of the contracts. So definitely both of these things will be required to be given to them. Previously, a lot of these APIs were done without an API key. So even right now, if you go to Rango Exchange, they have implemented an API key mechanism there, which we need to have in place. So we are currently working on that specific thing. having the ability to generate an API key based on the provider, and then go and execute that particular transaction. Okay, I think the team has demonstrated that very well. Probably there was a great demonstration, Achinta. So let's move on, to the next part now. Let's move on to the questions. Okay, there are quite a bit of questions. I'll try to answer as much as I can, and if I have already answered in the previous AMAs, probably it'll be better to listen to them, or we will run out of time for the unique ones. So the first one is, are Ina and Sandra now gone from the team? I see they joined another project. Sandra has left the team, where our goal, our objective now, is to bring on people with experience in this specific industry and push, for business development objectives. And Ina is still on the team. I speak to Ina, regularly. She's still on the team. And even from the content creation perspective and the marketing perspective, you will see that we are going to create a new Twitter page for XWAP, L1 XWAP, sorry. And at the same time, we will have the content going out. So we do have a new team member who's come in, who's going to generate the content and create digital designs for them and push it. But more on the marketing side in the next questions. The next one is, if the code has been submitted for auditing, why are we changing the code? Surely this new code the updates will also be, they will also need the auditing. Yes, 100%. What happens over here is, as you see, the new tech like direct swap. Now, there are certain updates and changes that we have to make in the core on an ongoing basis. The long-term objective after the end of this year, when we release the code open source, is to allow developers from the outside, space to come in and contribute to the code. So that goes on to a completely decentralized system of updating the code, proposing, improvement proposals, right, and moving into that space. But as we are updating the code, this code will also be audited along with the old code. The problem is, if we don't put a hard checkpoint on the code, we don't know what we are actually measuring it against. So the last checkpoint was the X score on the block proposer. The code before that is being audited, and the next one will be audited along with that. The next one is, how many more VCs are you looking to get? Is there a specific amount you want to raise? Will the new investment be used to develop a new team resembling a company with a research team, marketing team, and so forth? From the outside, we all see is 2 Discord guys and a team of developers. If you think about it, previously, when we had a holistic team responsible for a certain set of actions or operations that they were performing, we still relied on third-party agencies, right? And the internal team became the mediators to work with the agencies. I think that is, probably getting a little redundant at this stage for us, because our focus right now has narrowed down, to swap. And with regards to the VCs, we are dealing with 2 different institutional investors that are working with us with a proposed, strategy on not only the capital raising, but also how to compensate the community members. So with the capital that is raised, 80 to 85% of that capital will be going into the liquidity pools for the swap. And majority of the remaining money will be used to provide rewards to the people who will be using our swap, and a certain amount of influencer content will also be released. We are actually mainly focusing on the business development side, where we can get aggregators or other exchanges to integrate our APIs straight away. Because if we have spent so much time on the tech, making it work, it's worthwhile getting the aggregators directly using our product and bringing traffic in there rather than us just focusing on the marketing side. So it's going to be a dual marketing approach. Okay, so in the past you mentioned speaking to aggregators who require different APIs. Have these aggregators who they would use L1X APIs said they would use L1X APIs? Okay, so basically the question is about confirmation. Are aggregators confirmed on using the APIs? At this particular stage, none of the aggregators have confirmed, but that is because they have asked for a certain standard API, and we are building that and we will provide it to them mid next week. So it's a very straightforward process as far as I have understood in terms of what they have mentioned to us. The tech should do what it says it should do, basically, right? And that's where we will be going out with the APIs to all the aggregators and giving it to them. The aggregator also has a lot of competition within them. So if someone is providing a better fee model compared to someone else, it does create some tension there to onboard Xtalk. Okay. So what will happen if and when the aggregators use L1X? Can you explain this further, please? Why is it a direct win, like you said in the last AMA? Will 100% of their swaps and traffic go through L1X as it's cheaper and faster? How will it work? Okay. So one of the factor that I mentioned to you. So we did a reverse engineering on how these aggregators work, right? So what happens over here is these guys are working like search results, as I mentioned previously, and they have got various factors based on how they rank. So if you go, they've got filters like smart routing, fastest swap, the cheapest swap, and also it's like when you book an airline, your flight, which is I only want one stop versus I want 2 or 3 stops, right? Where you pay a lower amount sometimes versus a higher amount. You want the fastest flight. So they have these kind of configurations done over there. And there are 2 approaches. One is because the direct swap APIs are being given to them, the fees on direct swap are already lower than the competitors. So in terms of the the cheapest mode of swap, we will definitely be up there. But again, when it comes to the speed and other factors, maybe we have to work on those angles. So it's a direct win for a specific aggregator in a way where he gets an alternative to what other aggregators already have in terms of providing a cheaper fee to the end user. Now, if the aggregators do decide to go a step further and implement the direct swap widget that you don't even need to connect your wallet to perform the swap, I see that as a major win for the both of us, because then this technology is being adopted. And I don't see a hard reason why it should not be adopted based on the fact that and you are reducing the fees, the gas fee basically, that the user is being charged. So at this particular stage, I am in touch with Rango Exchange. And in terms of, if you look at DeFi Llama as well, and if you look at the smart contracts that these dexes have, the bridges have, I do believe that in the long run, the aggregator model may win based on the integration of aggregators directly into products, because they will definitely be able to offer more swap pairs that the user may require into a product. So we want to push as much as possible for that aggregator to adopt this tech, but at the same time it's a long run game, right? And L1X app and its swap widget will keep innovating itself and offer the best swap experience to the user. Okay, so do we have any websites lined up to use the widget? How do you plan to attract the 15,000 daily users you mentioned in the widget? Is there a plan in place? Yes. So very interestingly, as I was saying before, which is if you look at the current number of users, Target has around 14,000 swaps a day, and CC cross-chain transfer protocol, the CCTP or the CCIP, they have the maximum number of swaps that are being performed. So In our case, what will make the user stick to our platform, right? The first one is definitely the ability to not let your wallet be connected and do the swap. I kind of see that as a direct way when a user comes in, right? And if the user is hacked, definitely he's going in there. You know, that's number one. Number two, at the same time, a lot of these swaps have increased their number of transactions, but not the dollar value of transactions, because they have introduced concepts like, the airdrop bonuses. We all are aware of the infamous airdrop. The airdrop bonuses out there. Now, in our case, I think the ability to add the Bitcoin network and Tron is going to be a major win, because even if you go through certain exchanges that are centralized and try to swap between them, the fees are ridiculously high. So the ability to understand that there is Tron, there is Bitcoin, there is Solana into the same swap API, and the products that require you to swap, they require you to go from certain network to the other network, is where our win will come, the 15,000 users. Apart from the fact that whatever revenue we get, we want to allocate a certain part towards the marketing side of things, right? So direct marketing, nothing will beat that. I get that point. Going out there with influencers, going out there with YouTube videos, definitely getting eyes on it. Once someone uses it, and when it works, they will definitely come back, bookmark it, right? um, but apart from the traditional marketing approach, these are the other areas of focus that we have. So the other one is, I thought Tron has been implemented into the swap. Is that on the short-term agenda, or is BTC happening before Tron? As I said previously, the Tron integration is completed. The Bitcoin integration is also complete, where the from Bitcoin is completed, not the to Bitcoin. So you can go, from Bitcoin to something else. But if you want to go from something else to Bitcoin, that is pending. So, conservatively speaking, based on the workload that we already have, I would rather put around 4 more weeks, or the end of November, where we can actually put the Bitcoin on, beta. So Tron would definitely be a part of the system. Its EVM is very close to, conventional EVM systems. So with Bitcoin, I would rather put, the beta around sometime end of next month. The next question is, where is Mike? I had a chat with Lionel just before the AMA. Mike is unwell. I don't want to discuss his health issues. I don't know if he'll be really happy if I did, but he is not well at this moment, and that's why he's not coming on the AMA. I hope he gets well soon, and comes to the AMA. Okay, the next one is, what happened to the companies L1X was supposed to be onboarding before Christmas? Are they happen to wait until the widget is finished? Most of these companies, like, you have Galaxia, you've got Shuffle, you have other applications that are being built. Somehow or the other, they are building, they have launched in some aspect of things like Shuffle Labs. With the widget, our marketing approach over there is definitely giving it to the existing projects that are there. So what we are actually going to do from that standpoint is, from the widget standpoint, are two things. One is the referral system that is in place, and one is the ability to use the widget as a copy paste model. I see that happening probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks from the tech side of things. So the projects that are currently existing, they will be able to use our direct swap widget. If they want to use the APIs, that is possible from next week onwards. But if you want the widget specifically, that's going to happen a bit later. Now, just on this, we have been discussing with the team, and I definitely feel that if you look at Thor Swap, for example, Thor Swap has very limited quantity of liquidity pools that they host themselves, and then they rely on other aggregators or dexes like 1inch, Uniswap. And we have been exploring on how we can actually use these other dexes for their liquidity and the tokens while using Xtalk. it's definitely a challenge over there, where you have to route these transactions from one DEX to the other. But how will Xtalk be used over there for the routing and confirmation purpose? That's something that we are actually looking at right now after we release the Bitcoin implementation and the Tron implementation. The number of coins are few, but at the same time, I think we want to focus on good quality swaps, like low fees and more efficient than the quantity of tokens there at this stage. But that's something at the back of our head. We are looking at that aspect of things. Okay, so in case it's not mentioned, can we have an update on the new distribution of tokens? You told us to wait for 2 weeks, which has passed now. Yes. So at this particular stage, as I mentioned, we are getting very close in terms of the strategy we want to take on rewarding the community members with bonus coins and doing something like a rights issue with an underwriter position. And the whole tenet over there is we want to do the rights issue, where we have long-term coin holders in place. Because at this particular stage, although we are going intensively hard on the swaps, there is a way on how Dr. Neeraj and I have been looking at various revenue forecasting through the swaps. And these revenues, if you try to add up the number of coins, and even if you put certain coins at 50 cents versus certain coins at 15 cents, 15 to 20 cents, probably in 2 years, with the swap revenue, you should be able to buy in all the coins that are in circulation up to that stage, if they start to sell at that stage. So one is definitely the revenue model which we are looking at things. And for that, we understand that we have given out around 10% for the raise. And we will let out another 10 to 15%, as a matter of fact, for the new rights issue at a lower price, so that the community members can average out their L1X coin price. But we want to focus on long-term goal here, where the revenue coming in from swaps can definitely be very healthy to go and buy back the coins as an option B if buying back from VCs doesn't happen in time. So both the options are in place. Okay, the next one is, have the crypto media been notified about the launch of L1X swap? Should we expect a bit of publicity and a buzz? You should definitely expect a bit of publicity and buzz, but not soon. So right now, we want the product to go out there, the community members to use it. And sometime in the next month, once we have the referral system in place, that's the referral link we want to actually go out to the community members with, and position them where the marketing will be done with the referral link in place, so that these small YouTubers, medium, big size YouTubers, apart from the fact that they do charge a certain dollar value, they get the ability to refer back people into the system. Okay. All right. The next one is, you on the last AMA, you mentioned a layer 1 wants to integrate Xtalk within their protocol. How will this benefit L1X? Why would we want to do this for them? Okay. So good news over there. We have signed a non-disclosure agreement with these guys, and currently the team at L1X will pick up the workload on working with their dev team of integrating Xtalk into their network. Now, it's not a competition for us, meaning it doesn't mean that they get Xtalk to use completely. So think of them as near protocol or Solana, where they want users to be able to access their network through Xtalk. So it could be as simple as a direct swap, where the users from their network want to move to Solana or Bitcoin into their network, right? Which I don't know would happen, but definitely swap is one of the use case that they are looking for. So probably it's quite a bit of a work in terms of building it, testing it out, and releasing to the people. So I would expect that to be done, by the end of this year, sometime. The first version of something going out over there. Okay, can we get announcement planning outages and upgrades properly? Upgrading without letting the community know after the fact is a good way to lose customers. Yes, plan ahead. Leono, do you want to say something on updating the community for the node updates?
Yeah, definitely. So I had this suggestion coming up. So the team is already working. We'll be creating a separate section on L1X app where you'll be able to see all the planned updates, or when we are planning to release a new feature, and an approximate time for the site that will be down. So this will soon be in place. The next question I have is, could we possibly get a summary typed out for the upcoming AMAs or after AMAs, including news and questions? Yes, I'll definitely do it. What we can do is we'll be creating a new Discord channel, and we'll be posting, the summary of the AMA in there. So if you have a better suggestion, please reach out to our mods, and we'll work towards it. There's one by Noob in Gear. It says, "Are mods allowed to ask the team questions that are not announced?" Yes, you can ask all the questions to the mods. If they don't have an answer, they always reach out to us, and we answer them. So there's nothing stopping the mods from answering any question. So please feel to reach out to them, and if they don't have an answer, we'll give them an answer and they'll get back to you. Thank you. I think the next one is for you, Kevin.
Yeah, I'll start with the Dev Jones, which is, what support and resources will VCs provide to L1X? Will there be new team members and additional experienced developers to support Kevin? Layer 1 infrastructure needs a lot of support from all angles. Yeah. So, as I think about this, right, building the infrastructure where, so much is depending on the applications, new applications being deployed on the protocol and using it, right? One of the challenges previously was the concept of the interoperability that we introduced with Xtalk was so wide, right, that we had to, we had challenges nailing down to a specific solution. And that creates problem, because if you can't nail that down to a specific solution, the messaging is all over the place. So the advice that we had actually got from the guys that came on board was, I think we need to just focus on one thing. Forget about everything else. Forget about marketplaces, forget about gaming, forget about everything else. Focus on one specific thing, and prove the tech in that solution. Every other application will open up after that. It will be easier to open up. So with the VCs or institutional investors coming in, one thing is, it opens up doors for us with certain types of agencies that provide a holistic solution with tokenomics, market making, and the marketing side of things, shilling, right? So these guys open up doors to these agencies that probably will pay more attention, right, to us. That's number one. The number two factor that I look at is building the infrastructure and making sure that there are enough resources available in the long run. They're two different jobs, and unfortunately or fortunately, I've been tasked to do the both of them. So these institutional investors or VC will, they are positioned in that way where they will help to grow the value of the protocol, be it the coin, be it so many different marketing strategies are required from that perspective in the long run. So they pick it up as a project and they want to push this price or they want to push the protocol, and they create strategies around them where they will help us push it because they've got vested interest. They've got money invested in, so they want to do it. So it was a good way to lock up, responsibility, because a lot of times when somebody's trying to do marketing for you for X dollar of value, there is not a locked up responsibility model there, right there. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I find the next business or next customer or next company to work for or work in, right? So these guys have vested interest, so that definitely helps, in the long run. From the development perspective, our goal is to open source and let third party developers come in. So that is what we are intending to do there. When it comes to the marketing side, on the swaps and the API side of things, we want to work with an agency recommended by these VCs and institutional investors where they will help us push the value of swaps up. So we go and do what we are good at, which is build the tech, right? And lock in people with vested interest to push this up. And that's an advice I got from them itself. So there are certain times you're so tunneled, you get a tunnel vision into things when you're doing it. You look at it from the side, and these guys are helping us do that. I think that helps a lot. Okay. So I think the next one is, what are the gas fees in L1X transfer from one wallet to the other? Why are the gas fees in L1X transfer not shown in the Explorer? I think we should catch Achinta for that. Achinta, do you have an answer on why is the gas fee for L1X not being shown on the Explorer, please?
I think currently we are working on it. I think after maybe end of this week, we can see your gas fees there. We're trying our best to showcase that.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Thank you. All right. The next one is, I think we still have time. So what are the roles of the new advisors and how much cheap coins do they get and for what price? So it's all tied up to the performance, basically, and if they help us raise the money, if they help us get projects and partnership, they get the coins. If not, they don't get anything. So it's all performance based. And as I mentioned, the role of the advisor is to advise on what is the next best step that we should take, how to structure the bonus and the rights issue with the underwriters in place, where the community members don't feel, that we've been giving away too much to these institutional investors while still giving the opportunity first to the community members. So these are the kind of advices they have. And there are certain models like the financial models that sometimes I come up with that needs 5 to 6 different extra set of eyes and advice from there, right? And these advices are doing that. So all in all, it's not the fact that right away they are carving out an operational responsibility and running with it, but it's slowly being carved out for them to actually use that and push that forward. So the next one is with the balancer pool. Why has ZeusTech not opened it up? Now with the balancer pool and the ZeusTech side of things, I'll let ZeusTech guys answer that specific part. But on the balancer pool, we do have the bonus that's going out on a daily basis, and the bonus was issued out at 50 cents. So because the price is a bit low right now, and the way these bonus should be structured, it is being integrated into the bonus and the rights issue that we want to actually push, for the next stage. And once this model comes out, the balancer pool will be opened up, eventually. Okay, so the next one is, how does XSwap compare to Across? And yes, of course, the funds or the balancer are all there. When the bonus right structure is set up, I think that's the time, because I want them to reinvest back into the liquidity pools for the swaps, right? So I think once we have a strategy in place, we put it up to the community, we push the button for that. I think that's where the balance pools will be opened up. Okay, so how does XSwap compare to Across, which was recently integrated by Uniswap itself? Across achieves low fees and superfast transaction faster and lower than XSwap through its unique intent concept or technology. Um, I think the concept of Across is not new. The D-Bridge, for example, already has something similar to that which they use for their swaps. So, all in all, when you are actually trying to send a transaction from one network to the other, there are various levels of confirmation that you can have. You could have uh, the transaction is in mempool, it's waiting to be processed. You can query the mempool. The transaction, is being processed by the block. The block is finalized, and there are various intents that can be struck on as a receipt to these types of transactions. Now, it is more of a tech that relies on the other networks than itself to process this. Like, I don't see of it as an independent tech trying to push cross-chain swaps. Not I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's a different way to do it. So it's not an independent technology, away from the other networks. I kind of feel that for the long run, as much as abstraction that you can have with the other networks out there and build the interoperability protocol will be where the last man stands in this space. It's fine. I mean, Uniswap, you know, must have integrated them for a certain amount of grants that Uniswap must have got from them, as a trial or a pilot project kind of concept. But overall, I think there are only two different ways to do things in interoperability. One is either you depend on the other networks like bridges, where I think intent also tries to, is also like focused upon on other networks. The other one, when you say bridgeless, meaning that I don't need to depend on multiple different two in a single transaction. I don't need to depend on more than two different networks to process this transaction. Where if I send a transaction from Ethereum to Solana, and I am depending, the logic is depending on multiple different places for getting things done, right? That's a bridge model versus you are relying on a decentralized smart contract based platform where you can define your core logic that interacts with anybody else to do this transaction, right? That's what the bridgeless technology brings. So definitely, I think it could be a good start by Across, and there are always innovations in any field. But I also feel that our stance from 2021 has been keep it abstracted as much as possible. So that's what we are doing. And to be, to give you an example, the direct swap technology uses only one single contract on every network to do the swaps. Majority of them are handled by L1X EVM and L1X VM Xtalk contracts. So, and a quick overview on how that works. And I'm sure anybody listening to this will try to go and give it a go as well. Um, so the way that works is when you provide the information like the source and the destination network, the tokens, the value, the source and the destination wallet address, this information is sent to L1X EVM to create a quote ID. The quote ID takes in all this information, generates a quote, and sends it back. Now, you have a quote as to if I send you 100, you're going to get 99.35. When you make the deposit into Ethereum, the Xtalk listener listens to that specific deposit, brings back the information, and then the deposit address or the address that you sent it from is retrieved from that information, and then it is compared with the object that is being created. Now, there is a lot of, lot more level of depth to this as to what happens when, on a same network, you do you generate 2 quotes with the same ID and you only transfer once? What happens when you do more than 5 different quotes and you don't even fulfill one? So there are many edge cases to this that makes this technology more unique than the approach to it. And the only way to make it affordable was to actually use the Xtalk infrastructure and L1X infrastructure. Because if we relied on oracles and if we relied on bridges, right, then the whole tenet of the cost saving on the fees would actually be missed. So this is where we are trying to, laser focus the swap, and that's where we are actually trying to push it forward. Yeah, so we will release the beta version to the people sometime this week before the 26th or on the 26th. And we invite people to come and test it, our community members to test it, give us suggestions, more importantly. And I think at the same time, um, the other update was we will be choosing L1X swap as the name, because I think a lot of community members have given a fair point as to X swap is already there. Let's just stick to L1X swap. And we do have certain logo variations that probably requires your recommendation or suggestion. So I'll post it through my Twitter, based on what you think should be the logo for it, or if you have any other alternative, like an open competition, and we'll take it from there. So I'm glad that the direct swap actually worked out, so quickly for us, handling so many different edge cases, and we are actually launching the thing, less than, I think, 2 months of its introduction. So the time to market was quick for this one because of the tech we had. So I'm excited for it, and we look forward to your suggestions onto it. Achinta, Leonel, and Neeraj, if you have something to add.
I think, the direct swaps, as you said, it's ready. It's time for it to go out to the market via the aggregators, using the API, which we'll be submitting of mid next week. So I think it's a good start, and waiting to hear back from them. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, I was happy to see the demo of the direct swap and how quick and cheaper as such it was. Definitely, the community will be very excited when they happen to get the beta version of this. So definitely, people will be looking out for this. Yes.
I must say that whenever the beta version is released, right, there is a beta version, maybe some, you find some kind of glitch. Don't stone with us, stone on us. Okay, we rectify those things. If something happen, definitely you are, chat with us and you can raise the tickets and we'll solve it out. Yeah. You're mid, Kevin.
Okay, no, I agree. And I think, more importantly, like if you look at it from a macro perspective, right, for the foundation, it's a step forward for us where, we have lasered down the focus into one specific product, and at the same time innovated that product in less than 60 days. And that actually shows that once this product takes off, right, and it does what it's supposed to do and it takes off, innovating in the other areas that require applications to build on the protocol using either the same product or even newer products, we would be able to do that in the same timeline. So I think all into this singular focus that we have on swap, and I think we definitely need the support of the community members to push it. And once the referral thing goes out with a referral dashboard specifically designed for the swap, I think it provides more. I mean, the community members definitely have trust, in this, but at the same time, we also want to do as much as we can for them. So the referral system in place will definitely help them to push it out, easier as well. Okay, I think that was a pretty good AMA. Exactly 1 hour, not planned, but happened. Until the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.